Hey, my name's Alex McWhirter, and this is my presentation on the G1000 and the weather system. So, given in the prompt, we are going to be discussing about a flight where we are finding questionable weather, and ATC is busy, and we don't really know what the weather's like in front of us, and how can we use the resources inside of the cockpit of the aircraft we're flying to help us out and maintain situational awareness and stay ahead of the plane and mitigate risk. So first, I want to talk to you about a really useful feature called NextRad, which is just Doppler radar information. This is really beneficial if you're unsure about the strength of the cells in front of you or what you're looking at in front of your aircraft. This will let you know as well how close they are together. So this can tell you if you're not just looking at a single cell, but thunderstorms that are stretching a wide range and coming towards you that you're not going to be able to find a gap through, like a squall line. Even if you did see a gap, it's not wise to use Doppler radar to try and do something like that because the intensity of the storms change and they can change quickly, as well as the route, because the data you're getting is rarely fresh and new. Usually can be, up to, 10 minutes old. And at that point, it's not really beneficial for doing something like that. And at that point, you're not using it to really mitigate risk. You're entering a high risk scenario. It'll also show you lightning, so to let you know if you have convective activity like thunderstorms. And it'll also let you know if you're not just seeing rain, but maybe snow and icing or mixed conditions. And if your aircraft isn't rated for those conditions, you'll need to wait out the storms or go somewhere else to find a way around it, which I find to be beneficial. And if you're flying IFR, it's great for if you're flying, or it's great for looking out for embedded thunderstorms. So I've used that myself flying around in Florida a lot. Like I would just be in and out of IMC, and I won't know where the storms are, and I'll rely on NextRad to kind of tell me, give me a general idea of where they are. Which has happened to me before. I had to divert to wait out storms, and I had to sit there for around 6 hours. It was a pain, but it's a whole lot better than the alternative of flying right into a thunderstorm without even knowing it. And then we're going to look at keeping an idea of the weather along the route of flight. So something I really like about the G1000, it'll actually give you AirMet and SIGMET information. So if we are flying, VFR, and we see that there's an AirMet Sear at the airport we're flying to, then we're going to know that we're not going to be able to get in there because even, as time passes, those ceilings are going to rise. But if you're over them, it's going to be really hard to get under if it's a ceiling. So you might have to wait it out a little while, or if you're IFR, just know that you're going to have to shoot an approach and brief an approach plane, stay ahead of the plane. It'll also give you METARs and TAFs along the route of flight, which again is incredibly useful. And I really like looking at METARs along the route of flight because it can give you information about what the ceilings are. It can also give you information about the temperature dew point spread. So if you see the temperature dew point spread is getting closer and closer together as you approach your airport, then you could encounter low ceilings or fog conditions. It'll also give you winds aloft. It'll let you know if the winds that you calculated for the flight are a lot stronger, like if you have a lot stronger headwind than you expected, you're going to be burning up a lot more fuel, and therefore you got to plan accordingly and maybe even make a fuel stop. It'll also give you the freezing level. So if the freezing level is dropping, then you'll be able to see that in real time, which is really beneficial again if you're flying in an aircraft not rated for icing conditions. Just a lot of good information here that you can use to mitigate risk. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about a biblical principle. I thought this was a good one. Proverbs 22:3. The prudent sees danger and hides himself, but the simple go on and suffer for it. We certainly, as pilots, don't want to be the simple and go on and suffer for it because in a lot of cases, this can end in catastrophe. So it's always wise to be the prudent and seek out the danger and see, or not seek it out, but see where it is and try to avoid it at all costs and mitigate risk. And I appreciate y'all watching this and hope y'all have a good rest of your week.